I have no doubt about it. But I asked a very direct question. This is first thing. He don't know me that well yet. Who do you want? Who's the guy?
Garcia.
That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear, Dana. That's what I was asking about. What about you?
I don't do things on my own. I do things with my team. We all share the same vision. That's important for me. That's a must. Is we all share the same goals, and you know we've got a long-term plan here, and no doubt we'll execute it. Right. My job is to stay in the gym and give 100% in training, and the team allow me, with the same vision we have, to allow me to fully focus on being the best fighter I can be and deliver entertainment to the public.
He's a damn good boxer, but I don't think he can beat you. I just don't.
Opportunity presents itself. I just want boxing to be at the top. You know, I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
Next one. Conor Benn made it clear that Ryan Garcia is one of the matchups generating the most excitement around him. Rather than demanding one specific opponent, Benn presented himself as a fighter willing to face whoever the fans want to see. For him, a showdown with Garcia represents the kind of high-profile opportunity that can make a serious statement.
He's chasing
Ryan Garcia, and the potential for a fight against him is what everybody's been making noise about as well. Where is your head in regards to that? What fight do you want? What have you told Dana White?
Listen,
What's the fight that you want?
We're going to try and make the WBC World title. You know, I'm mandatory for that shot. I've worked hard to get to that shot, but ultimately I'm not sure of options. You know, there's plenty of fighters calling me out, so we'll see what's there. Whatever fight the public want, they can get. I'm here because I want to make the biggest fights possible. I want to make the most memorable nights in boxing. You know, the ones where people go, God, what a fight, what a night. Something to remember, history made, legacy made. That's why I'm here, so whoever wants it can get it.
That's who you are, I have no doubt about it. But I asked a very direct question. This is first thing. He don't know me that well yet. Who do you want? Who's the guy?
Garcia.
That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear, Dana.
Dana White supported that mentality while making a much bigger argument about modern boxing. He believes the sport has become too obsessed with protecting undefeated records, creating fighters who are afraid to take risks. In White's view, Benn's willingness to accept dangerous and meaningful fights represents exactly the kind of mentality that Zuffa Boxing wants to bring back into the sport.
Yourself about that with the boxing fan base, that a loss here or there could cost you in a way that it wouldn't cost a UFC fighter. That question is for both of y'all.
I agree with you 100%. And what happens is we're starting to build a roster of guys now. So all of these guys will be on a roster. And what you see in the UFC is, so you can have the main event and the co-main event. Well, sometimes the fans are more excited about the fights. There hasn't been a middle class in boxing in a long time. Right. And that's what we're going to bring. We will build a middle class. We will put, and when the best fight the best, not every fight's going to be the greatest fight you've ever seen, but people want to see good fights. That's what they want to see. Losses, wins, you know, it matters. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you're done if you lose a fight.
Conor Benn says his biggest priority is giving the fans fights that are worth their money. He admits that not every matchup will produce a classic because styles can sometimes work against each other. But Benn strongly criticized the culture surrounding undefeated records, arguing that it has made too many fighters afraid of losing. His philosophy is simple. He would rather lose an unforgettable war than win a boring fight. He wants fans watching his fights to know that he will always give everything he has regardless of the...
I want to give people value for money. I want to give people the fights that they want. You ain't always going to have an unbelievable night in the office. Sometimes the styles don't suit, they don't match up. But ultimately, I feel like it changed with Mayweather when he come along and it was the undefeated record and everyone was scared of losing. Ultimately, I'd rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight. Because then it's like, did you even win? Yeah. You know, so for me, I just want to give people value for money. I want people to want to tune into a Conor Benn fight, win, lose or draw. You know, I fight with my heart on my sleeve and they're getting everything I've got. I pour my soul into my fights and I give them every shot I have.
The results. Ryan Garcia confirmed that he is completely embracing the Conor Benn fight. Garcia explained that Benn has been calling for this matchup for more than a year, even confronting him personally at an awards event in London. Now that Benn has climbed to the #1 position and Garcia holds the championship, Ryan believes there is no reason to keep delaying the fight.
Makes you so eager for this fight to happen?
Well, I mean, he's been talking for some time. It hasn't even just been recently. You know, it's been maybe a year, 2 years. He actually pulled up on me in London and, you know, tried to fight me, start some trouble at a reward show. So ever since then, he's been on my radar. But since he's #1 and I'm world champion, I said, let's do it. You know, there's no more waiting. Let's just get it on.
Garcia also revealed that his ambitions go far beyond simply holding a championship belt. He still wants to become the face of boxing and lead the next generation of stars. But Garcia understands that popularity alone is no longer enough. With a title now attached to his name, he knows he has to prove himself through performances, consistency, and staying active at the high
Space is at from the standpoint, once upon a time, you were thinking about being the face of boxing. Do you still think about that right now? Or is it just one of those situations where having only 3 fights in the last 3 years, you're just simply taking one fight at a time?
Well, you know, as I'm a world champion now, and now that I feel like I have the belt, and, you know, I've always had the following, I've always had, you know, all the opportunities you can have as a superstar. You know, now that I have this piece that I kind of was missing, of course, I would love to keep fighting and kind of carry boxing. I actually lead this generation of young fighters of popularity and now of being a world champion. So I have all the opportunities to become the face of boxing, but now I just have to prove it with my dedication and all my fights that are going to be lined up. I have to do it now.
highest level. Looking ahead, Garcia appears open to moving between 140 and 147 pounds depending on the opportunity in front of him. He also expressed genuine interest in a potential matchup with Shakur Stevenson. But before thinking too far ahead, Garcia remains focused on defending his championship against Conor Benn.
The 147, you're willing to fluctuate and move back and forth as opposed to just moving up and weight or whatever. What's your intent?
Well, my intent, look at my strength and conditioning coach, he said that he believes that I can make 140 comfortably. You know, I trust, you know, the people, my team around me. If their opportunity presents itself, I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson, or we could bring Gervonta back, you know, from wherever he's at, you know, resurrect him for, you know what I mean? Like, let's go. I want that. If the opportunity presents itself, I just want boxing to be at the top. You know, I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
Chris Mannix took a closer look at Conor Benn's comments, suggesting that this could be his final fight at 147 pounds. Mannix and Sergio Mora questioned whether those comments were simply scheduling information or an early explanation for potential problems at the weight. After spending years competing at higher weights, they believe Benn could be facing a serious challenge physically as he attempts to make 147 again.
Conor Benn did an interview this past week with Ring Magazine, and he said something interesting, Sergio. He said that this was going to be his last fight at 147 pounds. Now, Conor Benn has not fought at 147 in about 4 years. He's making his way down for this opportunity to fight for Ryan Garcia's world title. But he says he's going to be one and done at 147 pounds. Now, you're the fighter. You've made weight before. When you hear a fighter say this, say that he is a month before his fight, the biggest fight of his career, in a weight class where there are some real names. 147's got Teofimo Lopez, it's got Devin Haney, it's got Rolly Romero, it's got some good names there. When you hear Conor Benn say this is his last fight at 147, what do you think?
That he's already preparing to make excuses to not look good in a weight division that he clearly outgrew. When you haven't fought in a division in 4 years, that tells you your body is not...
That concern only increased Sergio Mora's confidence in Ryan Garcia. Garcia made the 147-pound limit comfortably in his previous appearance, giving Mora little reason to believe the weight will become a major problem for him. Benn, meanwhile, is discussing the difficulty of making the limit well before fight night. To Mora, that could be a major warning sign heading into the matchup.
Go up 2 weight divisions and fight back-to-back fights with a natural super middleweight at middleweight in Chris Eubank Jr., then your body doesn't respond fluctuating, going back and forth, especially to 147. Conor Benn is a 154-pounder now. I mean, I sized him up. He will fit in nicely. He'll be a small 154-pounder. He was a really muscular, strong 147-pounder, tiny 160-pounder. So I just think he's making excuses for it, and I don't think we're gonna see. We're not going to see nothing special with Conor Benn at 147. I think Garcia flattens him, and he's going to blame it on the weight.
I had favored Ryan Garcia coming into this fight from the moment it was announced. But when I read the comments from Conor Benn, that made me believe exponentially more that Ryan Garcia was going to win. Because if you're a month out and you're already talking about the challenge of getting to this weight, a weight that he's not fought at since 2022. In his last fight, getting down to 150, he didn't look like the same guy. Didn't look like the destroyer. Didn't look like the guy that put a beating on Chris Eubank Jr. at 160 pounds. When you're now a month out talking about the struggle it is to get down to 147, and you're going to be going up against a guy that's not going to have any problem making 147.
The discussion also turned toward Conor Benn's previous PED suspension. Chris Mannix connected that history with the current questions surrounding Benn's weight, suggesting that the struggle to reach 147 may have existed for some time. The argument is that moving back down could expose physical issues that become increasingly difficult to manage without the advantages Ben previously had available.
Have any problem making 147. Like Ryan Garcia is a big, tall guy, but he made 147 against Mario Barrios pretty easily, and I have no reason to believe that he can't do it again. You're going to be going into the ring with a younger, faster, stronger, more skilled, for being honest, guy in Ryan Garcia anyway, and he's going to be making the weight in a much better way than you are. That tells me this could be a really rough night for Conor Benn. I think Ryan... Look, if Conor is weight trained coming into this fight, and look, Ryan's been kind of hinting at this for the last couple of weeks. Every time Conor posts a picture of him in great shape on Instagram, and he is in great shape, like he looks great, but Ryan can see things that fighters see, right? Like you can see like, hey, you're not close to your fighting weight. That muscle is great, but some of that's going to have to come off before September 12th. Like Ryan's already making notes of this and commenting on Conor's page about how much weight he's going to have to lose. Like if you're already at the point where you're not feeling good about making 147 less than a month before the fight, that is a huge red flag to me. And that tells me, that reinforces my belief that this fight ends with Ryan Garcia by knockout.
To him. Sergio Mora ultimately came away with a clear prediction. He expects Ryan Garcia to defeat Conor Benn and believes a stoppage is possible. Mora pointed toward Garcia's combination of size, speed, boxing ability, and apparent comfort at 147 pounds as major advantages. In his view, those factors could make for a very difficult night for Benn.
That this fight ends with Ryan Garcia by knockout.
Yeah, so do I. And look, we know that Conor Benn failed the PED test, right? Now you understand why there's so many different types of performance-enhancing drugs. Some of them are for weight loss. Now you know why that is illegal.
Diuretics, things like that.
Yeah, now you know why that is illegal, because making weight is part of the fight. That's part of the struggle. That's part of your performance. Everything is off that. It's a calculated science, really losing that weight. But if you're going to cheat to lose weight, you and a lot of people that haven't fought may think, why is he just gonna, he's cutting weight. That's part of the fight. So now you know why fighters are suspended when it comes to PEDs with weight. Conor Benn hasn't looked good in years. He hasn't knocked out anybody.
Well, I looked good against you.
He didn't knock him out.
Well, no,
he wasn't knocking out guys like he was fighting. Like he knocked out Chris Algieri.
Right. I agree with that. I'm saying he did look pretty good in that second fight with you.
So look, before we talk about maybe it's because he's lacking something that he was putting in the system. Now you can actually say that it was that, and it's actually fluctuating weight. You can't be jumping around from weight to weight, going north and then coming back south, expecting to hold down and retain that muscle mass and that power and that strength and that confidence. I think we're seeing a little bit of all that with Conor Benn and the writings on the wall. I think Ryan Garcia is really gonna do a number on him.
Floyd Schofield gives his prediction.
Floyd Schofield also leaned toward Ryan Garcia, mainly because of Garcia's wider skill set and versatility inside the ring. However, Schofield refused to completely dismiss Conor Benn. He recognizes Benn's constant pressure and legitimate punching power as dangerous weapons. If Garcia takes him lightly, Benn has the ability to create serious problems.
September 12th, Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. What you think about the fight?
I got Ryan Garcia, Team Golden Boy. I like Conor Benn, no disrespect to Conor Benn. I just think Ryan has more attributes to his game. I do think, though, if Conor Benn catches him with a nice shot, some nice flurries, it could be a change of that fight. Almost something similar to that Rolly fight. Just a little more, Conor Benn has a little more pressure. But I'm going with Ryan for that fight.
Yeah, you feel like he stops him?
It could. Like I said, boxing is boxing. Anybody can stop anybody. So do I favor a knockout over decision? No. But I do think Ryan possesses the power and the speed to catch him with a nice shot just as much as Conor does. So.
Schofield doubled down on his prediction while making one thing clear. Conor Benn cannot simply be counted out. Benn possesses world-class speed, aggression, and power, and those attributes could create problems for Garcia from the opening bell. Schofield believes dismissing Benn would be disrespectful to what he can actually do in the ring. Ultimately, he says the outcome will come down to which fighter performs better when the pressure is at its highest.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you feel like it's competitive before anything? I mean, a lot of people saying Ryan as well as you. I don't really hear anybody saying Conor Benn. What about yourself? Have you been hearing anybody Conor Benn? Oh, I think Reed just said it.
Said what?
Conor Benn, but that was his last loss.
Well, I mean, we can't count Conor Benn out. Conor Benn is a champion. I mean, he's a world-class fighter. He has some skill, he has power, he has speed, and he has aggression. Something that we've seen with Ryan, that Ryan sometimes can't, it takes him a while to get adjusted to that. So we can't count Conor out. I mean, that'd be disrespectful to a fighter like Conor. We just have to see come fight night who's a better man. And like I said, I favor Ryan, but I mean, Conor does have a big chance at winning the fight too.
Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's father and trainer, was far less impressed with Conor Benn's chances. Henry argued that Benn may have plenty of confidence and heart, but he does not believe Benn has the level of skill required to defeat Ryan. He also criticized Benn for focusing on distractions, including comments about Ryan speaking Spanish, instead of concentrating on preparation, weight management, and improving his own boxing. Henry believes those priorities could ultimately cost Benn when the two finally ring.
Well, that guy is, he's got some bark in him, but that's not going to cut it. He's got to have a strong bite, and we don't think he has, so he's all bark, and that's what he's got. He's got bark and heart. So if he's concerned about language, that's where his first mistake is. That's why he's going to lose. He's more concerned about Ryan's Spanish than his boxing skills. Like Brian says, he's a dumbass. That's Ryan's words, okay? And that's one of the reasons why we're like, dude, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, you're more worried about, the Mexican language? I mean, come on, bro. That's so stupid. Worry about what you're going to be, if you're going to be prepared, if you're going to make weight, if you're going to, have the skills. I think he should gear more towards that because he's going to need it.
Meet. Henry Garcia continued to question Benn's ability, describing him as a fighter who talks with confidence but may not have enough substance to back it up against elite opposition. He acknowledged that Benn began boxing at 17 and was inspired by his father, but stressed that passion and family legacy are not enough at the highest level. Henry pointed to Ryan's previous competition against top-level boxers and argued that defeating a fully focused Ryan Garcia would require an extraordinary effort. From his perspective, Benn does not possess anything special enough to simply overpower.
I told you earlier, he's all bark, man. He's gonna spark. He's gonna do whatever. He's gonna try to convince us that he's got it. Bro, he started when he was 17 years old. Okay, he did it because of his dad. More power to his dad. I like that. But you gotta have more than that, bro. You gotta have some special skills. And then when Ryan, despite how many years you've been in boxing, when Ryan is 100%, you fucking need an army to beat him. And I'm serious, bro. I've seen this too many times. You're gonna have to have like something very special. And if Devin Haney was a way better boxer than Conor Benn, and Luke Campbell, who's a way better boxer than Conor Benn, bro, you gotta be crazy if you think you're gonna just overpower Ryan and beat him. I don't see it. I don't see anything special.
Or Ryan. When addressing people who are picking Conor Benn to win, Henry Garcia offered his own explanation. He suggested that fighters who have previously lost to someone often develop a tendency to support that opponent afterward. Henry sees those predictions as more of a natural human reaction than genuine evidence that Benn possesses the superior skill set.
Say that because he got beat. Bro, they said that about, Ryan's last fight. That, Mario's going to beat Ryan because blah, blah, blah. Anybody that beats Ryan, anybody that beats them, remember this. Anybody that beats an opponent that they ask who's gonna win, they're gonna favor the guy that beat them. That's common sense. You know, they're not gonna say, oh, well, you know, Ryan's gonna win. Hell no. He got beat and they got their ass kicked. So of course they're gonna favor the guy. It's so easy to figure that shit out. It's stupid. But you know, it's okay. You know, you're not gonna have you're not gonna have all these supporters always. You know, you're not gonna have that. There's no way.
Tell me, Henry,
but it is what it is, bro.
Gareth A. Davies views this fight as an enormous opportunity, but also a major risk for Conor Benn. He highlighted Ryan Garcia's explosive hand speed and precision as two weapons that could gradually break down Benn's defense. Davies believes Garcia could begin taking control around the middle rounds and even sees a potential stoppage around round 6 or 7. Still, he acknowledged that Benn has the toughness, mentality, and heart necessary to completely disrupt those expectations
for him, and they might capitalize on it. But for me, the danger for Conor Benn in this is when that bell rings, he's going to be in a world of trouble. By 5 or 6 rounds, I think he'll find out who he's really in against. I see him being knocked out in 6 or 7 rounds. Surprise me, Conor, and win the fight. But for me, this is the most dangerous fight of his career. Forget the Chris Eubank at middleweight fight. This is the most dangerous fight, and I believe he gets knocked out midway through that.
Spencer Oliver also favors Ryan Garcia to come out on top, with a stoppage remaining a realistic possibility in his prediction. Oliver respects Benn's toughness, power, and determination, but believes the 147-pound limit could be one of the most important factors. He points to signs of fatigue and reduced punching power when Benn competed at 150 pounds, raising questions about whether Benn will have enough energy and strength at 147 to deal with Garcia's speed and explosive combinations.
Garcia wins the fight, and he possibly wins it by knockout, but I'm not writing off a Conor Benn performance. But one thing that really concerns me about Conor Benn going into this fight is not his characteristics and, you know, and his will to win and his punch power, but making 147.
Yeah, it's going to be a
fight.
Yeah.
A fighter that's dead at the weight.
4 years.
We saw it in his last fight against Regis Prograis, down at 150.
Yeah.
He looked dead at the weight.
Yeah,
the punch power wasn't there.
Over the welterweight.
Yeah.
Now the predictions, arguments, and endless debate are almost over. Conor Benn is determined to prove every doubter wrong, while Ryan Garcia is fully focused on defending his title and strengthening his place among boxing's biggest stars. On September 12th, all the talking will finally give way to action when the opening bell rings. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for every major development surrounding Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. The event has been promoted as, and from the moment the lights went down inside the Jeddah Superdome, there was only one name on everyone's mind: